What's up everybody, and welcome back to some more content. I guess that's the best way to describe it. In today's video, what I'm going to be showing you guys is 8 locations in Fallout 4 that you may have never seen. These are hidden or secret or unmarked locations, things that don't necessarily appear on your minimap, things that you very easily could have overlooked or passed by without even realizing they were there in your initial or even second or third playthrough. And even though I've dumped hundreds of hours into Fallout 4, I actually only knew about a few of these. So, you know, maybe you're like me, maybe you are not, but hopefully after watching this video, you'll find out about a few places in the Commonwealth that you didn't know about prior. And actually, before we jump into this one, I do want to shout out yet again the Deathclaw design. A while ago, I did kind of have a final run on this, but a lot of people have been messaging me, I guess watching some of those older videos and requesting I bring it back. So this time I'm going to have it up for 1 week and then it will be gone forever. To actually celebrate this, I'm going to put it on a 10% discount also. I'll have a link to that down below if you guys are interested. Again, this is largely going to be the final call for this one. I don't think I'll put it up ever again, and in fact, I'm going to order my last edition of this shirt for myself personally. But with that, we'll just jump into the normal video. So first and foremost, we do have the Prost Bar. If you guys don't know, the Prost Bar is an unmarked location right next to Swan's Pond. Basically, you just got to walk up to a door and open it. It does say Prost Bar. You may have actually experienced this one. I think I actually walked through this once or twice before. I think there's a few companion mods that do place their companions here. Something interesting though, Prost actually means cheers in German. This bar is actually a recreation of a TV show that was called Cheers. This is a TV show that was on NBC in like the 80s and 90s, the early 90s. It was kind of just one of those typical sitcoms at the time, but this again is going to be a direct recreation of that. If you're one of the few people watching this that actually watched that TV show also, then, you know, cool for you. But if you're not, at least we know at Bethesda they are dedicated to Easter eggs and even ones that maybe we don't all know about. This is actually one I didn't know existed, and it kind of shocked me that I didn't, so I wanted to include it because of how obvious it is. In Diamond City, or Diamond City Market, technically, there is kind of a stadium in the background, as it is, of course, Fenway Park. Well, if you look through, you actually notice there's one red seat. If you're me, you never noticed this until you actually are reading about it online. This is actually the real-life Ted Williams seat. Ted Williams was a baseball player, as you could probably guess, and that's actually the indicator for the farthest hit home run in Fenway Park, that being 502 feet. And basically, they put a little seat there that has a red topper to kind of signify this is how far that home run did go, and you know, that's a pretty astounding feat. I didn't know this was in Fallout 4. Again, maybe some of you guys did. I honestly had no idea. It's kind of crazy considering how many times I've been through Diamond City, whether it be recording videos, doing quests there, or just shopping, and yet at no point did I notice that one standout red seat that is in the bleachers. Then we do have the Old Gullet Sinkhole. This is actually a pretty interesting location. I've passed by this a ton of times, but never really paid a ton of attention to it. It is, as you could probably guess, a sinkhole. If you're pretty attentive, you'll realize that it's actually all of the surrounding houses, or like the backs of the surrounding houses, broken off, falling into a sinkhole. Down there's some miscellaneous loot, of course, some of the furniture and other things that you would find in these houses. A Deathclaw that I actually did not see under there. Like, that wasn't staged to look really nice in the video. I actually was just like, oh, that's a Deathclaw right there, standing across from me. But even further, there's actually a little kind of drainage pipe that you can go down, and after going down there, you'll actually stumble upon one of the basements of one of the surrounding houses. I believe there's a quest that actually takes you through there otherwise, but I didn't know this existed. There's other means to get down into that basement, and it's just something kind of interesting and cool that you may have not noticed like I didn't. Then we do have the Cat Cabin. This is just going to be another miscellaneous cabin that you can find after traveling through the Commonwealth. Except this one's going to be surrounded by cats and filled with pictures of cats. The owner is mysteriously missing. There's another lady in the Commonwealth that actually sells cat meat, so maybe this is her summer home. But either way, it's a really interesting cabin. If you're using one of those kind of portable settlement mods, you can actually make this your own house if you're really into cats yourself. Otherwise, there's not really a ton going on here. Maybe one of the people working at Bethesda was a big cat fan and they wanted to make this as a memento for her or him. But either way, another really interesting and notable location that you can stumble upon. So this one's actually pretty cool. The ArcJet engine is something you're probably familiar with. On the earlier parts of the game, if you're doing one of the early quests for the Brotherhood, you do help Paladin Danse turn on an ArcJet engine. That one was working. Well, there's actually another one that you can find on a transport, again, just stumbling through the Commonwealth. It's basically sitting there on a truck bed, and there's a terminal that allows you to activate it yet again. Except this one, I guess, didn't have the structural soundness of that other one and actually explodes after you try to activate it. It's kind of just a random cool event that you can use to entertain yourself if you want to get all those hidden locations in the Commonwealth, but otherwise, just something I'm kind of surprised I missed. It does stand out pretty notably because, you know, it's a giant engine or thruster on a truck bed. But hey, I missed it, so maybe you did too. Then we do have the Lexington Bank. Lexington's one of those areas that you probably kind of overlook a lot of the times in your playthrough. I know I definitely do. Well, one of the places in there, as you probably guess, is a bank. As you actually make your way inside of the bank and into the vault, you find that a few people are trying to rob that bank and then something happened to them. It's not entirely clear what, but they were trying to get that vault out, as well as there's a bunch of money scattered around and a duffel bag carrying 100 pre-war dollars, which is actually a lot of freaking money. It's worth a lot of caps in Fallout 4, so if you're trying to loot something early on, this is a great place to focus. Again, I'm not really sure what took them down. They're just kind of laying there. If the bombs dropped, I feel like they would be ghoulified because a lot of the structures aren't actually totally destroyed. But either way, someone went through a lot of effort to actually get that vault out, but didn't get too far with it. Then we do have the Plumber's Secret. This is basically just going to be a warehouse. They were working on plumbing supplies, probably selling them out of there also. Initially, you probably have been through this and just been like, all right, it's another random lootable location with some miscellaneous junk. But if you actually look at the things on the ground, they will point to the ceiling. Well, that's where the Plumber's Secret is housed, because if you actually shoot off some of the ceiling panels, a cap stash will fall down. It's really underwhelming. I only got like 23 caps out of mine, but maybe in some of your games, if you have the right perks, you will get more. Either way, a really interesting one. Again, probably something you've explored through, but didn't know about this little thing. And last but not least, we do have the Moonshiner's house. This is actually going to be right around the Gunner's Plaza. If you've never been in this area and you're approaching the house for the first time, as you get closer, you're actually going to see an explosion. As you get even closer, you'll realize that there was basically a guy in this house trying to cook moonshine. He does have a chemistry station there, as well as a bunch of bottles for whiskey. Well, obviously something went wrong, whether he just kind of overcomplicated the process or had the wrong ingredients, and things, didn't go well. It's basically just a triggered event, so you just have to be fairly close to the house for this to go off. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Those are 8 hidden, interesting, or unmarked locations in Fallout 4 that you may have missed on your initial playthrough. As always, I thank you guys for watching. I do hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you all next time. Later.